everybody. Today we have a special guest. My name is Zachary Rogers. I am the host of Creative Perceptions, where your dreams meet your reality. Today, I actually have one of the people that I went to school with and a friend. I haven't heard from her in a long time, but we're here to make it up. I have Miss Jamie Rockymore-Bess. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's been a while, like you said. Thanks for having me here. It's good to see you. It's good to even, just kind of see where you're going with your platform. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you. We were both students in the contemporary communications
Yep.
program at Notre Dame of Maryland.
Yep.
Oh, those are some late nights with homework and long classes, even when some didn't make sense for our academic program, but that's neither here nor there. All right. So, really quick for all the people watching, we have three segments. We have the general introduction or the general interview. We have the basically, which is called Let's Talk. We have all caps or no caps, which is basically like true or false. And then we
Okay.
have quick strike. I'm a
Okay.
huge sneaker person. So, like, when we say quick strike, it's
Oh,
going to be quick answers off the top. It can be random, like, what's your favorite place to eat? But, we'll get there when we get there. All right. So, you attend college in Pennsylvania, right? Or Philadelphia, correct?
in
So, walk me through
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, psychology, right?
Yes.
Walk me through your thought process on selecting your college and why you decided to stay out, why you decided to attend school out there. Walk me through that.
Sure. So I'm originally from Pittsburgh, and my senior year, everybody was like choosing colleges, and I'm just like, oh, I'll just go here. So I had originally went to Bloomsburg, which is like 2 hours from Philly, I think, more central, PA. And I didn't realize how far that was from Pittsburgh. It's 4 hours. So I didn't really like care to be that far away from home, especially first college student, no car, no nothing. It's like So I ended up transferring to Clarion, which was like an hour and 15 minutes away from Pittsburgh. And that was a lot better. I could go home on the weekends, and things like that. So, and then I chose psychology. And I think it was more so because I don't know if it's just because I like talking to people. like I like the conversations. A lot of my friends kind of like leaned on me for advice and things like that. And so it just kind of went hand in hand. And I just think psychology is just so interesting. And I'm always curious as to why people do the things that they do. So that's kind of like the whole bulk of psychology. So it was just like hand in hand.
Okay, awesome. All right, so to kind of switch gears back, so we're gonna get to the point where you become the CEO and founder of your own magazine company. But when you think about the trajectory of everything that's going on in the world, right, and mental health, I guess with everything in COVID, what's something that you learned? What's something that you're learning right now with everything, whether it's positive or negative? What's something that you learned thus far?
Patience, my gosh, like that is it's patience. So it's a few things. Patience because now I'm working from home because in addition to the magazine, I still do my full time with the state. We pulled our son out of daycare because it really didn't make sense. So it's just well, not even so much it didn't make sense. It was just safer, because daycares is a lot of foot traffic and stuff like that. So it was
Hmm.
a lot safer to just keep him home. And I, told my husband if I'm home, why pay for daycare? He could just stay home with me. And that's a challenge. I
Hmm.
mean, he's our son's 3 now. So of course, when the pandemic started, he was 2.
Okay.
He don't care about no Zoom meetings. He don't care about conference calls. He don't care about it's what he wants. He wants. So teaching him to be patient and then giving me granting myself grace and patience it was like the thing for 2020. And another important thing, I don't for me, I would say is I had to really be intentional on putting myself first.
Mm,
However
good.
that was, whether I got up early in the morning to do it, whether I did it after, our son went to sleep. It's just like giving myself that moment, whether it was like doing yoga, whether it was walking, just something to just center myself. Um, because at least as a mom, it's like well, you're wearing all these different hats and you're doing all these different things and you're on go the moment your feet hits the floor off when you get off that bed. So it's like
Right.
I had to be intentional and taking time for myself. So giving myself patience and then giving myself that self-care moment. And that doesn't have to be a long time. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes, but just being intentional about it, because I felt like if I don't, I'm going to bust. I'm not going to be good to nobody, you know.
Right. That's good.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think a lot of times, we as people, we kind of feel like we have to do X, Y, and Z a certain amount of time, certain amount of weight, or how, a certain amount of, I guess, amount of reps, so to speak.
Right.
You're a mother, your wife, your CEO. Can I say CEO, or would you
Yes.
like visionary? Okay, CEO. We're gonna say CEO. Ownership is big now, or we need to get back into that. And then you also work a full time job, so that is a lot to juggle, right? So let's rewind a little bit, right? How did you end up going to Notre Dame? You then relocate after you graduate undergrad. Walk us through that process of relocating to Maryland, to Baltimore. But
So funny story. I actually, when I was in high school, I was on a bus going home. I used to do housekeeping. So in high school, it was a weekend job. So it was something like, I did on the weekends. And I was on the bus going home, and this guy, like somebody was going off on the bus. And this guy, the way he talked to the person, like you can tell he was something. He did some type of counseling, some type of something, because he was able to de-escalate the person without it being like a big thing,
right.
And I was impressed. I said, "Oh my goodness, like how did he do that?" And he was talking, and he wasn't even really talking to me, but he was just saying, he's like, "Listen, if anybody is into social work or into psychology or into, that realm of mental health, Baltimore and Philly is the place that you need to be." And I'm
Wow.
just like, "Oh." So that always was in the back of my head. And I knew I didn't want to go to Philly only because I'm from Pennsylvania. I was like, I'm trying to get
Right.
out the state. Like, I,
Right.
and Maryland is closer. Maryland's about 3.5, 4 hour drive from Pittsburgh, at least the part of Maryland that I'm in. And so I was like, you know what? He said Baltimore. So I took a chance and just kind of came down here and started working for a mental health hospital, which was great because I felt like what he said was valid, because I landed a job in one of the major hospitals in Maryland that solely worked on mental health, on psychiatric care.
Shout out
And
the hospital. Are we allowed to? Shout out the hospital? No.
I don't know, because
Okay,
I
keep going. This is don't get fired topic. Don't get fired. Got you. Keep going.
don't right. But so I worked there, and I was there doing patient care, and those were some tough times. Those were some tough, oh my goodness, there were some tough times. I was, fresh out of college. When you graduate from college, you're like, I want to save the world.
Yep.
And then reality comes in, like,
You can't save the world.
and you can't.
Right.
And so I was working there for a while, and I got promoted as a discharge coordinator. And when I got promoted to that role, I was working with the psychiatrist, the social worker, the nurse. It was more of a team. I was more, an administrative role. I was working with adults. And I just kind of felt like I knew I wanted to do psychology, but I knew I didn't want to be a therapist, at least not at that moment in my life. Because
Right.
for some reason, for me, I just kind of felt like there's more people not going to therapy than there are that is. And
Right.
I'm like, I can educate those who are not, or you just educate those who wants to support. I think mental health will be a lot better. And so I just knew communications was a key thing for me.
Right.
So I was like, I have the psychology background, but let me go into communication so I can figure out how I can communicate that to other people. And
Right.
that's how I end up at Notre Dame. And then also because they accepted me. I mean,
And listen. You sometimes it's who gives you a chance, and then you make the best of everything else. I definitely get it. All
exactly.
right. I love it. Definitely fun times there. I remember you used to always ask me, "Why are you in a rush to graduate?" Because I got stuff to
Yes,
do.
you did it. Let me hear.
No, that's real. All right, so walk me through the process. How did you start to birth the idea or realize that obviously you wanted to be an advocate, you wanted to educate people and provide that communication and that advocacy for the people. When did you start to birth the idea of the magazine, and then what were the steps? Like, what were the growing pains, so to speak, through that? Because that's a lot. People don't understand.
Tell me about
Publication is
it.
a lot.
Tell me about it. And I don't have a best friend that works for Essence, Ebony, Jet, or
Right.
anything. So,
Right.
I really had to do a lot of research. The growing pains was the starting point. But the
Mm-hmm.
most interesting thing, and I knew that I was passionate about it, because even though I hit a roadblock, it wasn't like I'm like, oh, this ain't for me. I'm just like, oh, I just got to find another way. It was like not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
However, prior to that, as a discharge coordinator, I worked with a lot of clients. Like, in order for you
Mm-hmm.
to lead a hospital on our unit, you had to talk to me. So I spoke to everybody
Mm-hmm.
that came through, whether they stayed for a day to 3 months or whatever. I had to plan their aftercare. So I had a lot of conversations, a lot of sit downs. And one of the most common things that I've heard was people would be so uneducated about mental health. First thing they say is, I don't belong here. I am not like the rest of these people. And I'm like, well, what does that mean?
Right.
Because you
Let's
don't
unpack
know
that.
what that person is going through. That person lost a spouse. This person lost a home. This person, we're all one tragedy away from dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
a breakdown, or yeah, a breakdown, because if I, God forbid, I lose my house, I'm not gonna know what to do. I lose my house, my job, my kid,
True.
it would only make sense to go off, So
Right.
I'll always find myself explaining to people, like, you can't judge the people that are here. Like, and so I just seen that there was a lack of education when I would talk to families on the phone. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
quite understand. Look, I don't know anything about this. Mental health isn't something that, we deal with. My
Right.
uncle from my dad's side had it, but I don't, we didn't really know anything about it. And the pieces of literature that people had received, a lot of it was from programs. And I'm like, I don't like, people don't like to feel that they're being sold. You know,
Right.
Join our program. We'll teach you this, this, and this. It's a good marketing, but some people
Right.
just want to know what bipolar means. Some people want to know what panic attacks are. They just want to know the basics. And because I didn't see that, that's what made me come up with the magazine.
True.
Because it's like, it's a tool, that it's a resource that people can read. No one's selling them anything. It's just conversations, topics from clinicians, stories from people who've gone through the process and are still going through the process. So it
Mm-hmm.
makes it relatable, and it's just a resource for people to, either, to just learn more about mental health, and to help someone who's going through the journey.
Mm-hmm. So what year were you like, okay, I'm doing a magazine, and then what year did you put? Because you're on volume 5, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome,
Mm-hmm.
that's super dope.
Mm-hmm.
And for people out there, understand she's doing this for free. Obviously, the goal is to receive a grant or funding to do this and get paid and become the full time. But it's you have to really have a sense of compassion to do this and a sense of like really caring. So first off, shout out to you. So I commend you for that.
Thank you.
But so walk us through or kind of highlight the dates, like when you're like the date. I mean, not the exact date, but you get like the year. Like, okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do this, and then the year you had your first issue.
So the year I decided to, um, do the magazine, it was in 2018. That was when my son was born. And I don't know if it was just like a thing as a parent, like, I gotta find another, I don't want to say side
Mm-hmm.
hustle, but I have to find something, because I wanted to be home. It's like, it's hard. You carrying a baby, then you gotta sit on the daycare. Like, that's
Yep.
that's hard.
Yep.
So I said I wanted something that I give myself more time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so in 2018, I thought about it. I thought about the magazine. Funny story, I wanted to freelance for a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing. Cause I said, freelance is a thing. I love writing. So I'll just
Mm-hmm.
freelance, do my own job, make my own schedule. But there wasn't much that I could write for. There wasn't really a mental health magazine I can write for. And I said, oh, I guess I'll just create one. I don't know if that's the millennial in me, but it's just like, oh, I'll just
Own
create.
it.
So 2018, I came up with the idea. 2019, I published the first magazine, in the fall. I want to say February. in 2019 and in 2018, I came out with the magazine twice a year. So I came out with it in February, April, one of those, and then in November of that same year. And I knew that, and I came out twice a year to test, to just kind of see what was out there,
Right.
And people were like, Jamie, you're playing. You need to come up with this a little bit, like you need more. So this is our first year that we're coming out quarterly.
Okay.
So
awesome.
Yeah. So February, we're getting ready to come out with our 6th issue in May. We'll come out with our 7th one in August, and then our 8th one in November.
That is awesome. So do you have a team, or you have people helping you, or is it strictly you, or?
It's strictly me. It's so funny because I always say we, like I have a team behind me.
Okay, that's why. Okay, I got you. Understood.
But I do have a designer. I do have a designer that I work, that we've been working for a year. And so what I do is I reach out to different clinicians, and then they'll contribute, and it's just kind of the best of both, because most clinicians have not in addition to them doing practices, they may have a book, they may have other things that they sell, so it's like a win-win for everybody. So
that is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think, it's 2021. I mean, I was a history major in undergrad, so my mind automatically goes there. when do you think that, I guess, the climate will start to shift where the negative stereotypes of mental health will not affect the Black and brown communities, or when we're willing to overcome? Because obviously it came from somewhere where it was like, oh, y'all shouldn't worry about that, but I'm gonna leave that out. But when do you think those stereotypes are gonna change? Or how do we change it?
It'll change, and I think it's slowly changing. See, in my world, it seems like it has changed, but my world is small. I think it'll start to change when the resources are out there, when we put boots on the ground and people are able to go into these places, when there's more support groups, when people can talk unapologetically about mental health. That's why I appreciate your platform, because this allows people to know that Helpful Living magazine exists, that it's okay to not be okay, that there's resources and things like that. So I feel like once that starts to come out, I think we'll be okay, and I think we're on the right track. One of the things I think is important is if jobs push it too. Just like how jobs say get your physical. I feel like they need to push also that, as well as like, getting mental health checkups. And also in the Black community, we love our God, we love our Jesus. So they also have to push it as well. If a pastor is saying, look, I'm getting my mental health checks, you best believe those offices is going to be flooded, because people, they listen to their pastor, So churches play a major role too, because when I first started doing this work, I know you said you wasn't going to go there, but when I first started doing this work, I've interviewed pastors, I've interviewed people in the ministry intentionally, and the younger, like I guess our age, they would say, our parents say, pray about it. Oh, we'll pray that demon out of you and things like that. But you still have to do the work. Faith without works is dead. So it's like, I can pray all day long, but if I'm not doing the work, if I'm not going to therapy, if I'm not, seeking support groups and things like that, how can I expect the change? So, and I think churches are starting to see that now. Right. I think 2020 was a shift, because everybody, if you was on this earth, what it felt like to be stressed. 2020 was that year. So I think it's shifting in the right direction. I mean, you'll still have your people who don't care for therapy or things like that, but I think as once the resources are available, it'll happen. And also for those who are listening, like I don't know if people know what EAP is, but the Employee Assistance Program. I always tell people to check with your job, because EAP, they give free counseling sessions, for people who are looking for, and your job doesn't have to know anything. They don't know anything about it, because it's a different company or whatever. But right. You can get free counseling sessions to just see if that's something that, would work. So once the resources are out there, I think we'll be good. And not only the resources, but people knowing about it, right?
Right.
So
Right. So just so you know, and you know, you're a resource. You're definitely one of the
yes,
advocates that are pushing it because I don't think I've come across a magazine. I haven't. So I like what you're doing is like very you setting the framework for a lot of people, and I think I'm excited for when people watch this because, like you said, it's just about knowing.
yes.
Oftentimes we don't do things because we don't know, and I love the fact that you interview pastors as well too. So kind of changing lanes, what's next? So you want to get it funded. So you want to basically be that the full time job, and I know that can happen. So I'm
Hmm.
definitely rooting for you. So what do you see next? How are you planning? Like any luck on the funding, and then any is a book coming? Like what's going on?
So my goal right now, so the magazine, The Big Shift was coming out quarterly. So
Okay.
I'm actually excited about it because I was nervous. I'm like, can I do this? Can I handle this? And I'm like, oh, I can. I'm
Mm,
really big on social media and listening to people and seeing how I can pull them into the magazine. Each person I've encountered, like they're like, man, this is unheard of,
right. Hmm.
especially for our people because cover to cover you see a lot of us in there. You see, and we also have a section in the back. Um, it also helps with the funding. I charge for therapists to be listed in the magazine in the back as a
Hmm.
resource.
Okay.
Um, and they pay. Now we charge $40 a year, which is
Hmm.
nothing. That's
Right.
like
Right. Right.
$10 an issue. And then so when someone is reading the article or reading the magazine, they can see that they're listed in the back. If they're in a
Hmm.
hometown, they can reach out to them. It lists their insurance,
That's
how to get
dope.
in contact, and all that. And so as far as with, there's a few things happening. Actually, I'm starting a writing course. I'm starting to be a writing coach because being editor in chief with this magazine, I get a lot of I'm editing a lot, but I'm getting a lot of people who are just like, oh, this is my first time writing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm nervous. I'm this, I'm that. And I'm starting to see like that's a thing too. So my goal right
Right.
now is to work on content and helping people. So in June, I'm going to launch a writing course. So I'll be promoting that soon.
Look at
Um,
you.
I know, I know. I'm going to be doing consulting, writing, being a consultant as far as writing, helping people produce books and things like that, and potentially have their articles in the magazine. Since I have that platform, I would, love to help people because I don't want people to not write something because of the fear of
Right.
not knowing what to do. It's like,
Right.
all right, we'll work together. We'll get your article in the magazine and that'll be your first piece. And now this magazine is distributed throughout the United States. So somebody in a different time zone is reading your stuff, which is a major accomplishment. So
Yes.
there's a lot of good stuff out there. A lot of people have a story. A lot of
Yes.
people are knowledgeable. So I just want to help bring that out. I'm coming out with an ebook. Um, how to
Yes.
become a paid blogger.
Come
So
on.
that's coming that's coming out. So yeah. And I don't know if you know I have two books. I think I'm gonna I know.
You ain't dropped the book. You ain't let me know.
This
Go
was
ahead.
before Notre Dame though. This was before
Oh,
Notre
okay, okay,
Dame.
okay, okay.
So I do have the author in me, writing books and stuff like that. And I think that's one of the things that pushed me with the magazine. It's just because I love writing, I love reading, I just love people's stories, and they don't have to be like a famous person.
Hmm.
The person across the street, everyone has a story, and so I like to bring that out in people. So
Look at you becoming giving back, getting into philanthropy and advocacy. Look at giving back and providing opportunities and educating people on a very notable cause. All
thank
right, we're gonna
you.
switch gears. Right, we're going to Quick Strike. So Quick Strike is kind of like I gave a sneaker analogy, but just think about like Chick-fil-A. You try and get there before 11 o'clock for a close, and you get there 10:55. You gotta be quick and powerful, right? All right, so quick striker is gonna be random, quick questions. It could be about the field, or it could just be something random, right?
Okay.
All right, oh god, mental health is real, right? Who is your favorite artist to listen to when you're online?
My favorite artist to listen to. My favorite. I don't even know her name. Wait a minute. You know what? My favorite artist to listen to is her. I've been
Okay.
listening to her. Yeah, I love her. Yeah.
Very R&B. Very. She's trying to take it back. I love it.
Hmm.
All right. So this is a random question. My frat brother's probably gonna be mad because I stole his interview question, but this question lets everybody know what type of person you are. So think carefully, right? If you could be any dish on the Thanksgiving table, what would you be and why?
If I could be any dish, I would be greens because I don't like meat. I don't care to eat meat. Um, and it's healthy. When you
Okay.
don't put all the turkey and the
Yeah.
ham and all
Not the
that.
neck. Okay, no turkey neck. Okay, got you. All right. Who is somebody that you look up to? I don't like the word idolize, but who is somebody that you look up to and is a role model or mentor for you?
That's a good one. Somebody I look up to. Actually, I just took a business class. Her name is Nicole Walters. She helps businesses grow. I can look up to
Mm,
her because I respect what she does. I respect how she runs her business. So she would be, and actually just finished her course. So Nicole Walters, she's amazing. She actually just had a TV. She had launched a TV show called "She's the Boss" on USA.
mm-hmm. Okay.
She lived in Maryland, so
Well,
she's
oh, shout out to Maryland. All right. All right. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or Martin?
Martin.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I can hear some people grumbling, but that's okay. No, I'm kidding. All right. Will COVID help people start to focus and pay attention to mental health?
I believe so.
Okay.
Believe
All
so.
right. I can dig it. I can dig it. All right. What's one thing that if you could use 3 words, what are 3 positives that you got from the pandemic lesson wise? You just using 3 words.
3 positive words.
Mm-hmm.
Grace,
Mm-hmm.
patience, and understanding. Those will be
Ooh,
3
that's good. Ooh, that's good right there. All right.
words.
All right. So we're switching gears again. So we're doing next segment I really like, especially the wordplay. You know, I write too, so like it's weird. But all caps or no caps. So all caps will be it's a lie, and then no caps will be it's the truth, right? All right.
Okay.
So for my first question, it is possible to be on social media without affecting your mental health or trying to be something you're not.
Uh, all cap. That's a lie, right?
What do you think? I mean, you tell me. You think it's
No, is
possible
that
to?
what all caps mean?
Yeah, that's a lie.
Oh, then yeah.
Okay, got you,
I
got
feel
you.
like
Okay, my
I'm
bad.
getting old. I should know what that means.
No, no, it's okay. No, I got you. I've gotten quite a few people with that. It is okay. All right. Are we at the end of the pandemic? Are we close to the end of the pandemic?
No cap. I don't think we are.
Okay. All right. So we still got some time to go.
I'd
All
say another
right.
year. I'd say
Huh?
another year. I'd say
Another
another
year?
year.
No, that makes perfect sense. You're going to reach some type of funding by the end of 2021.
Now that yes. Yes, that's true. Was that all cap?
No, no cap.
No cap.
Got you.
Sorry.
Got you. No, you're good. You did good. You did good. You did good. All right. So this is my last question. What's one thing that you would tell somebody who has, whether it's a business, whether it's something that they want to create, whether it's media, art, literature, but they just don't know how to necessarily do it or take that leap of faith? What's something that you would say to them?
A few things. Do I have to leave it at one?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. The first thing that I would say is find that base, find that area. If it's a Facebook group, if it's, a group of people, or is there somebody you can pinpoint, follow them, surround yourself around people that where you want to be. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
important. If you can get into a group, that would be amazing. Because I feel like even within a group, there's 1 or 2 people you can connect with that'll help you. Excuse me. I was told this a long time ago. Be intentional on like working on your craft, even if it's like an hour a day, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, but take some time to carve out that time to work on what you want to work on, whether it's, and working on it doesn't mean building anything. It could be watching YouTube videos on that craft. It could be reading a book. It could, whatever it is, just something that'll get you to that next level. focus on that and spend some time with that, because you're going to grow and you're going to learn. And always challenge yourself. Set short-term goals. Of course, long-term goals, but set short-term goals and acknowledge your small wins. Acknowledge your small wins. One of the things that I started doing, every Friday, I have a jar of accomplishments. I write down on a piece of paper 3 things that was positive this week. It could be something as simple as I went for a walk, I worked on the magazine, I interviewed somebody, whatever. And I put it in a jar. So if there's any down days I have, I can look and say, Jamie, this is what you've been accomplishing so far. So I encourage people to do that as well. Yeah.
All right, I haven't asked this before, so this is a new one. It just randomly came to my head. See, that's why I can't give the questions before the interview, because I just randomly come up with stuff. What would you tell your, I guess, well, it's college, technically, 17, 18. From 2021, what would you tell yourself in your freshman year of college, your younger self? What would you tell yourself, advice-wise? What would you have told yourself?
Look, I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
I would have told myself to have fun, enjoy the moment, enjoy college life. I was such a nerd. And I was like the poster child for the library, Like, I was in the library so much, I ended up working there. Like, I was always in the library. And I would tell myself to have fun, enjoy the moment, make the mistakes. I mean, I don't really count them as mistakes. It's just, learning lessons. But just have fun, and that it's going to be fine. There's no race. Like, this is a marathon. There's no race. There's no one's rushing to the finish line. So have fun and enjoy life.
All right. Before we get out of here, tell the people where they can follow you at, or how they can contact you, and then how they can access the magazine.
Absolutely. You can access me at HelpFullivingMag.com. The contact pages on there, our email is info@HelpFullivingMag. We're always looking for submissions. We're actually getting ready to open up our submissions for August. So in May, I'll be opening up the time frame for people to pick topics. If you have a story you want to tell, email me at info@helpfullivingmag.com. I'm a really nice person. I'm not that hard to get in touch with. And our Instagram is HelpFullivingMag. And yeah, you could follow me there. I also have my personal page. If you type in Jamie Rockymore, you'll find me. And I'll be having my website up, jamierockymore.com shortly, to help those who are looking to write. So if you're interested in writing and you don't know how, you need a coach, you need somebody to help you out, just reach out, info@helpfullivingmag.com, and we'll work it out, and I'll get you together.
I appreciate you so much. I just want to say that you definitely inspired me. I definitely took a long break from my sports writing, but you definitely inspired me. I'm excited for what you're going to do. I know you're going to do phenomenal things. This is something that's definitely needed, whether it's the advocacy on mental health or educating people and just teaching people how to write. Because when you can write, I'm not good at math, but when you can write, do math, I guess science too, you have a job at anything. So I just want to say thank you for being so willing to jump on the podcast. I literally emailed her last week and she was like, oh, sure, I'm down. So I just want to say shout out to you and thank you for everything that you're doing, and keep going.
Thank you. And kudos to your platform and what you're doing. I'm excited for you as well.
All right. Thank you much. Here we had Jamie Rockymore-Bess, CEO and founder of HelpFulliving Magazine.
Thank you.
All right.